What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Aeron Nix. I'm here as part of Wrestle Plug Reviews, and this time around I'm here to review a sneaky little extra show courtesy of Will Ospreay and the gang. Hashtag No Fans Monday. So with the coronavirus obviously being a full-blown pandemic at this point, a lot of wrestlers are out of pocket, a lot of independent wrestlers in particular struggling to make ends meet, I'd imagine, especially with the lack of bookings, the inability to wrestle in front of any substantial crowd, independent promotions not shutting up shop, but, suspending their shows indefinitely across the board. So with that being said, Will Ospreay took it upon himself, as he always does. He's becoming quite an entrepreneur in his more informative years, and also, of course, being one of the greatest wrestlers in the world today. Took it upon himself to have No Fans Monday, a fantastic little show that was ran, of course, in London. So, yeah, happy days, can't really complain. I absolutely love the idea. I think it's one that will probably catch on going forward, to be honest. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it, and they raised an astonishing amount of money. Of course, it was aired live on YouTube for everybody to see for free. People could donate, buy t-shirts, and yeah, all in all, just seemed like an excellent idea and an all-round very generous proposition for a lot of people. So thought I'd do a cheeky little review just to kind of help some traction. Of course, if you want to donate to the wrestlers, you can by buying one of those exclusive t-shirts. Support Wrestling, Screw Coronavirus, and we'll supply the links in the description of YouTube so you can find out where to go to get that, and also where you can donate, etc, etc. Pretty good card as well, to be honest. As you know, I was at Battle Pro on Saturday, saw an excellent card. This was no exception, opening up with Paul Robinson versus O.J.M.O. The fact that Paul Robinson is as vocal here as he is everywhere else is just phenomenal. No break in that man. He is all business all the time. And him and O.J.M.O. kicked 10 bells of shit out of each other. And I appreciate that very much. So I love Paul Robinson. Massive, massive, massive fan of Paul Robinson. Think he's phenomenal. O.J.M.O. is very much the next big thing. He's on the rise as the great big star of independent wrestling and thoroughly deserving of that spot, to be honest. And this was a good match. Good pace setter. Paul Robinson gets the win with a curb stomp. Loved it. Really physical, really aggressive. Loved the setup. Loved the arena, by the way. But the arena, the hall, so to speak, the area in which they recorded this. Everything just felt really good. Really, really liked it. Really enjoyed it. Thought it worked very well, to be honest. The Scramble of Doom. Malik, Paul Sayers, Adam Maxted, Chuck Cyrus, or B-Tech Michael Elgin, as he is now being called, and Carlos Romo. Great stuff. Really good fun, really entertaining. Everything you'd expect from a scramble match. Again, another pace setter. Normally you'd open with a match like this just to get the crowd, invested, but obviously there is no crowd, so you don't need to give a shit. The joys of having an empty room. Bar a few trainees and crew that I believe were represented by WrestleTalk and Hustle, which is very cool. And also nice to see Adam Blompier as well. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but one thing I will say about him, regardless of people's personal feelings, he's very entertaining, and he was doing backstage interviews. Really enjoyed this. Adam Maxted's fantastic. I think he is a superstar. When you say, reality TV, here we go, Love On and whatever, you might be forgiven for thinking that this guy is not going to live up to an expectation, but he is, no question, a top quality wrestler, thoroughly deserving of his position on so many different cards. You don't get to work a show like this, particularly in such a unique climate, unless you're exceedingly talented, and Adam Maxted really shone in this match. Malik, very heavy hitting, somebody I know quite well, seen on a lot of cards. He's actually wrestled a couple of good friends of mine as well, which is pretty awesome. Carlos Romo's great, and Chuck Cyrus and Paul Sayers. I was sort of taking a mick a little bit on Twitter, but really good wrestlers. And yeah, Chuck Cyrus especially, built like a tank. Absolutely built like a tank. He's a unit, that boy. So yeah, all in all, great little match. Really enjoyed it. Thought Carlos Romo shined as per usual, and I believe it was Mr. Massive coming out on top with that as well. So yeah, just again, another high quality matchup and a great showcase of what British wrestling can afford to give us. And this is the other thing as well, because this was available on YouTube, because you could watch it worldwide, because there had so many thousands of people tuning in and out, it's great. You know, if you're living in America and you don't see much of Brit Rest, but you know who Will Ospreay is. Everybody knows who Will Ospreay is if they're a wrestling fan. You know, you turn on YouTube and you see O.J.M.O. You think, cool. You know, it's just great exposure for these guys. And don't forget, of course, yeah, it's great that, you know, you can buy these t-shirts, but also don't forget it, you know, if you're going to buy a t-shirt, I would suggest buying it directly from the wrestlers themselves as well, because all of them have got fantastic merchandise available. O.J.M.O. is no exception in that regard. And yeah, that would be my advice, really, if you're looking to, you know, support these wrestlers in particular. That all of them have either pro wrestling tee shops or personal shops and the ability to ship normally fairly decent distances internationally. So check out each wrestler's page. Very simple. Just if you go on the Twitter or the Facebook of said wrestler, you'll find a link to their merchandise, no problem. And it's absolutely worth throwing a few coins at that. Yeah, David Starr versus Calum Newman. Core blimey. They kicked 7 balls of shit out of each other. Well done, lads. Fucking physical as hell. I'm not really going to sort of cover the card in any particular order, so, you know, screw me if people are like, what? That wasn't third. Yeah, David Starr versus Calum Newman. Just everything you'd expect, really, at this point. Calum Newman is somebody who's really starting to come into the eye line of so many Brit Rest fans now. You know, the young lad, insanely talented. I think he's only 17. Astonishing talent. Highly athletic, smooth as can be. Looks like a guy who's been wrestling 10, 15 years. You know, and that's a testament to the abilities and the training skills of Brit Wrestling. And he went in there with David Starr, who, you know, everybody knows David Starr is not my biggest cup of tea, but one thing I will say is he's very good at making great matches. Never has bad matches, David Starr. He's a phenomenal wrestler, and I love what he stands for with We the Indie as well. I think that's something that needs to be pushed far more. And it was great to see him wrestle Calum Newman, and once again, you know, for all the grief David Starr will get from certain people about his way of seeing the wrestling business and how he wants to change it for the better, he will still go out there and he will give his all. He will physically be so demanding, and he will always give his competitor or his opponent the rub of the green. And he did that with Calum Newman. You know, this is the kind of match that potentially could make an even bigger star out of Calum Newman. It was so good. 4 stars, heavy hitting. You know, 4 stars minimum if you want to give it a star rating. Hard hitting, physical, vicious suplexes. And, you know, that's kind of been David Starr's MO, really. Especially in the more recent memory of wrestling fans. He's just become more vicious, more physical, more aggressive. And yeah, he's got every right to be, really, and I like the character and I like the style that he's cultivated for himself, and this match was really no exception. I loved it. The women's match had a slight change. Aaliyah James couldn't take part in that match. Really disappointing, because she is not only an awesome talent, but a lovely human being as well, and somebody who we wish very well. I don't know if she had an injury or there was some incident that could, you know, stopped her from working this match, but unfortunately she wasn't able to work it, so it was just a singles match. Gisele Shaw versus Mercedes Blaze. Gisele Shaw is somebody we've been mentioning quite a lot on this podcast, particularly at Reach Wrestling Reviews. Truly becoming the big breakout women's wrestler at the moment is Gisele Shaw, alongside many other women, but she really seems to be setting a pace that everybody else is following at the moment. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Revolution Pro Wrestling's women's champion, holds multiple belts across the world, really, the globe. She is just a phenomenally popular talent. She's got a great look. She's powerful. She's physical. She's tall. You know, very commanding presence of the ring. And she's up against Mercedes Blaze, who is a really great, high quality wrestler. Somebody who I've met in person. Somebody who has shared a locker room with me, so to speak. And I love Mercedes Blaze, and I was highly complimentary over the first time I saw her for Charity Wrestling Promotions down in Southampton quite some time ago, and she's just got a vibe about her. Very cool, very unique, very different. She is unapologetically herself, and that's what I love about the women of British wrestling, is they all feel like themselves. I can't look at somebody and say, oh, that person reminds me of so-and-so, that person reminds me of so-and-so. No, they just simply remind me of themselves. That's what's so great about them. They all feel like they've got fantastic individual identities, characters, charisma, and it shows in the way they wrestle. Another excellent match, high quality match. It was lovely to see a nice little splice of women's DNA on this show as well, because we shouldn't forget that Brit Wres women's division is stronger than ever, and there's a reason why NXT UK keeps pilfering talent, because they are so good at what they do. But yeah, another excellent match. Love that match. It was fantastic. The tag team match was quite good fun as well. Lucas Steele and Nathan Cruz versus Robbie X and Scotty Davis. The combination of Scotty Davis and Robbie X, that was made for me, surely. So I'm a Lincoln lad. As everybody knows, I adore everything Lincoln, and I found out recently that Robbie X is from Lincoln, which was thrilling to me, which meant that I was an even bigger fan than I already was. But the other guy, of course, Scotty Davis, or as some people might know him as Young Nick Payne, who is one of our regular co-hosts, who has an eerie resemblance to him. He looks like his dad, basically. He looks like Scotty Davis if he's grown up by about 20 years. It's amazing. Yeah, Scotty Davis for me is genuinely going to be a world-class superstar. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, I think. Technically supreme, smooth, professional, humble, exciting. He's got a great look. He's a good-looking guy. He looks the part. He is a hybrid wrestler in the sense that he can literally do everything, and he can do it all at the highest quality. He has just kept breaking through. He's currently one half the Progress Tag Team Champions with Jordan Devlin, who of course is the Cruiserweight Champion for NXT in WWE, and 205 Live, of course. The sky's the limit for Scotty Davis, and he's another product of that amazing wrestling academy. You think about the guys who are training over there, people like Paddy, people like Sean Guinness and guys like that who are constantly, still working hard for the OTT scene, who are also helping raise the other talent. There's an astonishing level of quality coming out of Ireland. That's why OTT is regarded as probably the largest bastion and the final bastion of independent wrestling. I mean, they still use the odd NXT talent from what I can tell, but OTT is phenomenal, and they build stories and they build world-class wrestlers, and look no further than Scotty Davis representing. Fun match. Nice to see Nathan Cruz again. Feel like I don't see enough of him because he does work a lot of Northern dates now. It was lovely to see him working. Nathan Cruz is somebody who I remember as the first Progress champion, somebody who was just a really important member of the identity of what Brit Wrestling is now. When people think about how important things like Progress are, before they even got close to a working relationship with WWE and stuff, Nathan Cruz was in there wrestling some of your great heroes, people like Jimmy Havoc and Will Ospreay and the like, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, all those kind of guys, and excelling and doing so well and being a phenomenal heel and going everywhere and just doing great things. Wherever I see Nathan Cruz, he is the personification of not only excellence but professionalism. I hadn't seen Lucas Steele actually before, so it was nice to see him. Big unit of a man, some resemblance of an early Baron Corbin for me, but I liked him. Big, powerful guy, and also in this day and age, it's not enough to just be a big, commanding presence. You got to kind of bring more to the table. People aren't going to tolerate you just standing there and looking pretty, or doing the sort of latter Andre the Giant stuff. You got to be able to move, you got to be able to work, and this guy absolutely could. So another phenomenal match. Very, very cool to see. Very disappointed that Robbie X and Scotty Davis didn't get the win. Shocking stuff. We'll always support the boys, and especially the boy from Lincoln. But an excellent match again. Carl Fletcher and Connor Mills were, somebody had told them that they absolutely should not try and steal the show, and went out there and absolutely tried to steal the show in every sense. And other than the main event, this is the match that stood out for me the most. Wow, seriously hard hitting. Connor Mills, I've lost count of how many times I've seen the guy now. We're well into double figures, and he just gets better. And what's so scary about Connor Mills is he's still breaking through in a lot of places. He only just made his Revolution Pro Wrestling debut, which shows you how fucking slow that lot are. Crack on, lads. He's fucking amazing, Connor Mills. I remember seeing him with Maverick Mayhew as that wonderful tag team in Progress. They were the tag team that built the Dome, so to speak. Obviously the Dome, the venue that's in North London, which is where they would have midweek shows. It's now frequented by Attack Pro Wrestling. And yeah, you run out of superlatives. for someone like Conor Mills. And on the other side of things, you've got Fletcher, who has had to go it alone for a while now. Mark Davis has a serious injury, I believe. I don't want to sort of throw out conjecture, but I believe he's got some sort of knee injury. And that's going to be a long-term rehab. So Carl's been going solo, working a lot and doing good things. And he's kind of cultivated a slightly darker persona for himself. Different ring gear as well, which is quite cool. Very unique, seeing him in tights or trousers, as opposed to, like, you know, those trunks. And he's got fucking hench as well. I know people say, oh, Kyle's a big strong boy now. He's fucking massive. Like, he's genuinely quite big. I feel like when people were saying he was getting hench, I didn't think he was that hench. Now he's fucking hench. Now he's a big boy. Like, Kyle looks like a meaty slab, an Aussie man. Absolutely. We love a meaty hoss. Just a little bit more body mass and he'll be full Australian hoss. And him and Davis are going to be disgraceful when they pair up again on the tag team scene again. Wow. They're going to kick the living shit out of people. As if Davis isn't, you know, the powerful enough man in there. He's going to have a little bit of competition in Kyle, and it looked like he broke Conor Mills' nose during this match. This was really physical, really strong style in places, and I'm seeing more of this from Conor Mills. I mentioned this on the Battle Pro review. He just seems to be getting more and more physical every match, and it's really cool to see, because his original identity for some would have been this lanky, high-flying kid. And as he's getting bigger and as he's getting more notoriety, he's starting to lay his shit in harder. He's starting to get more physical, a lot more strikes. And when you're in the ring with guys like David Starr and Carl Fletcher and the like, eventually you're going to find yourself, you know, learning to take even bigger lumps, bigger bumps. And that seems to be what's happening with Conor Mills. And he's starting to almost find himself in a heel role as well. You know, he was just the babyface cookie cutter kind of guy at first, and now I've noticed that he works heel in a lot of different places, and people legitimately, you know, giving him a lot of heat. Battle Pro, he was working heel, and a crowd were all over him in his match against Del Nino. But this was fantastic. You know, sticking this as your penultimate matchup, really really physical, really powerful, just really good stuff. Really appreciated it. Fantastic little match this was. And main eventing was the man who put it all together, Will Ospreay, versus his partner in crime, and individually by herself, a world-class talent and a phenomenal talent in her own right, Bea Priestley. Somebody who I have a lot of time for, someone I'm very excited for. I love Bea Priestley, have done for many moons, to be honest, and yeah, it is what it is. Some people do only see her, and even Will Ospreay acknowledged this at the end of the match when he got on the mic, and he acknowledged the fact that, yeah, a lot of people do think that Bea only gets bookings because of Will Ospreay, and that's fucking nonsense. Bea gets bookings because she's fucking world class, and for all the doubters, you need to sit down and watch this match. This was the main event, and this was the match of the night for me. From my taste at least. I love intergender wrestling. There's a cheeky little rant that's going to be dropped on our YouTube channel about intergender wrestling and how people perceive it. That's going to be available to listen to very, very soon, so watch out for that. Make sure you like, subscribe and follow the channel, and also check us out on all our social media at Wrestle Plug. Will Ospreay versus Bea Priestley was incredible. Watched it with my partner as well, which was really cool because she's not the biggest wrestling fan in the world. And yeah, it was exceptional, absolutely exceptional, and it was physical, and there were some nasty bumps in here, and you could tell that Bea Priestley was favouring it. At the end, it was a horrible bump. There was a moment where she almost gave Will Ospreay a kind of double stomp, and as she came down, she sort of fell off the ring apron and essentially just took a flat back bump on a solid hardwood floor. There was no give whatsoever, none. Wow. Two troopers, two people who don't know anything but fifth gear. For me, I think this should help catapult Bea Priestley even further. I mean, she's already a huge star, one half of Stardom as tag team champion. She's the top gaijin. She is a hot property in Japanese wrestling. She's now starting to get the breakthrough with AEW. I love Bea Priestley. I think she's an incredible athlete, an astonishingly nice human being. By all accounts, I met her at a show, Lucha Forever, a few years back. She took a heinous bump off the ladder, courtesy of Kip Sabian, who pushed her off. And now look at them both, AEW talents. That shows you that you should check out indie wrestling. You should support your local independent promotions, because you never know when these guys and girls are going to appear on primetime TV or on primetime networks on the internet, whatever it may be, on top quality streaming services. So you really should get behind these people and enjoy your locals as well, because they're cheap, they're effective, they're a great night out, and not only that, you might get to see, future WWE champions. And this, I love this match. Highly athletic, physical, powerful, and Will Ospreay ultimately gets the victory with that vicious hidden blade, that fucking back elbow strike. And then followed up with that insane, almost, he gets him in the tiger suplex and the Stormbreaker, where he just sort of gets him in the kind of tiger suplex position, picks him up, and then sort of gives him that rotated slam off his shoulder. Wild. Absolutely wild. Love it. Absolutely love it. I could watch these two wrestle all day and all night. They are fucking amazing, these two. And what I love about this is, I was watching a couple. They're each other's partners. We all know that. But what's so amazing about these two is the fact that they stand on their own, in their own divisions, in their own genres and hybrid performances, and they are excelling like no other. These two are the cream of the crop in what they do. Will Ospreay is widely regarded as, especially around his peers and by a lot of fans, as the best wrestler in the world. And on the flip side of things, I think B. Priestley is rapidly being recognised, at least in this camp and in a lot of other camps, as one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And she has gone over to Japan and she's done it by herself. She's gone over to Japan and she's earned that graft, and she's flying all over the world and appearing in so many different shows, and she's earned that right. She's earned that right to be known as B. Priestley. Nothing more, nothing less. Absolutely phenomenal. Love this match. It was a nice little show. This showcase, so to speak, from WrestleTalk and Will Ospreay. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Loved it. Do you know what was lovely? Being able to come home on a Monday and chill out, make some dinner, put my feet up, not panic like a lot of people are doing, and just watch some wrestling. And not only that, watch it for free. You got this card for free. That was the really cool thing about it. So, there's a lot of people out there arguing, saying, it's a bit of fucking liberty. I don't earn money. Why should I fucking give them my money, etc., etc.? Well, that's fair enough. Nobody's saying you have to. But ultimately, they still gave you this show for free. It's not like they charged you for it. And I wouldn't have really batted much of an eyelid if they had charged for it. But they didn't. Very smart idea putting on YouTube. Great promotion. Fantastic self-promotion for WrestleTalk and Will Ospreay. And most importantly, world-class promotion for the Brit Rest individuals. The guys who are involved, the wrestlers that we all love and admire, whether it be at a tiny little Resistance gallery or the humongous Tokyo Dome. We take all these wrestlers a little bit for granted at times, and you shouldn't do, because they go out there and they really do put their bodies on the line. This really exemplified that in this show. It was phenomenal watching. It was great viewing. I hope it's going to be something that's going to be a more regular thing going forward. I think more and more you've seen with NWA Power, an Impact using Twitch, the streaming services, the free streaming services are becoming more and more of a thing. More and more wrestling is now available for free. And it's very frustrating when people say to me, I only watch WWE, I only watch this pay-per-view. And it's just like, well, yeah, but there's free stuff out there. You can watch Impact for free on Twitch. You can watch this on YouTube. You can watch NWA Power on YouTube for free. Completely free. There's no obligation here. You got internet? Fantastic. You can watch this stuff. And it won't cost you a penny. And not only that, you get to see some of the best wrestlers in the world. It's not like it's a bunch of scrubs. This was a showcase of some of the best names that BritWres has had to offer in the last 10 years, if not more. And on the flip side of things, NWA, they've got some of the best promo workers and the best characters. Impact has incredible superstars that people sleep on all the time. My biggest lesson that I can take away from this, and I think everybody else should, is that wrestling is amazing. wherever it is, the quality of wrestling is superb across the board, and now is the best time to get on board and enjoy a unique product. And if you feel even slightly jaded by another product, there's so much out there now, and a lot of it's for free. So I absolutely implore you, support the British wrestling scene, support all wrestling scenes, whether that be independent wrestling, your favourite wrestlers from AEW, even WWE. At the end of the day, if you love somebody that much and you notice their hard work and their hard graft in that squared circle, then it is absolutely crucial that you go out of your way to support that person any way you can. It's not necessarily always about giving money either. Maybe it's just a retweet here and there. Maybe it's just contacting that person, sending them a lovely little message. I make a point every time when I can of just, going up to wrestlers, shaking their hands, saying thank you for their entertainment. As somebody who does it myself, I appreciate it tenfold even more than I did as just a casual fan. So thank you very much, Will Ospreay. Thank you very much, WrestleTalk. It was a fantastic little show. I hope everybody who's listening to this has enjoyed it. If you are still listening, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, of course, make sure you follow us on all formats on social media at Wrestle Plug. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to buy one of those fantastic t-shirts or any other merchandise involving the wrestlers, you can either check out the description of this YouTube channel and this YouTube video, and also please, if you notice somebody, maybe you thought, O.J.M.O is really good, check them out, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook, check out their personal links and order their merchandise if you've got the money, because it's not necessarily about helping them out in dire times when they need money, because we all do, especially when we're not working, but more importantly, it's about supporting them throughout, because the real OGs, they support from the start and they support at the finish. That's how it always works for me. From myself, Aeron X, thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll be back very, very soon for more cheeky wrestling reviews. Most likely, WWE Raw will be available, most probably while you're listening to this. Take it easy, gang.